Great battle at the front of the field between the number 66 of Max Rustler and the 4 Double Deuce Husqvarna machine of Easton Lavanish. Duking it out at the front of the field as they have checked out from the number 21 of Ryland Smith back there in the number 3 spot. Deeper in the field is the 787 Husqvarna machine of Edward Kubik, and chasing them all down is the number 316 of Caleb Catellis, rounding out our top 5. Checkered flag flies for the number 66, Max Rustler, taking the heat race win in the 50E Open Division number 1, holding off the 422 of Easton Lavanish, who had some issues there in about lap 2 of his heat, but he was able to remount a charge and make the move back on the 21 of Ryland Smith to take over the number 2 spot once again, and he will finish there in the number 2 position ahead of Ryland Smith. Edward Kubik and Caleb Catellis will round out the top 5 there in heat race number 1. And we've got heat race 2, the 50E Open 4-8 division number 2, set to hit the track. Got the number 5 Haggerty Home Improvements, Mika Metals Dunlop Tires, and New Ken Inc. Gas out of Cheswick, Pennsylvania of Willie Haggerty. The number 08 Works Auto Salvage, Podium Works, Wright's Meatpacking, Derby Dog, and Chase's Auto Salvage Husqvarna out of Elwood City, Pennsylvania of Colin Work. The number 13 KTM comes out of Tyrone, Pennsylvania of Kingston Natali. Out of Irwin, Pennsylvania is the number 100X of Chance Beneman. Out of Kendall, Ontario, Canada is the Callis Alpha MX and Wright Training Cobra. That's the 548 of Jet Anderson. And coming out of Cadogan, Pennsylvania on the Kibik Cycle, Josh Lojak's House of Speed Off-Road Vixens and FXR Gas is the 717 of Gemma Stover. Heat race 3, Stay 6-0-4 Division 1 will be getting lined up in just a moment. Stay 6-0-4 Division 2 should make their way down to staging as well. Heat races 5 and 6, 50cc shaft drive 4 to 6, Divisions 1 and 2 need to make their way down to staging. And first call for heat race 7, 50E Senior 4-8. The 548 of Jet Anderson leads the way in heat race number 2, the 50E Open Division 2, with the number 5 of Willie Haggerty hanging on to second. The 08 Colin Work running there in the number 3 position with the number 13 of Kingston Natali running in fourth, with the 717 of Gemma Stover rounding out the top 5. Just off the mark on his E5 machine, the number 100X Chance Veneman getting some extra seat time out there trying to close the gap on the 717 machine.
sending it out on YouTube for the heat race. And YouTube will kill me if I have copyright music on it.
We've got heat race number 3, the Stasic 0-4 division number 1 out on the track right now. Leading the way is that number 03 of Jackson Mayle. Talked to his dad during track walk today. He's one of those M-A-Y-L-E males. I know Maleys spelled the same way. So Jackson Mayle running up front. He's got the advantage on the 113 of Denver Stark. The 4-2-3 of Jace Mock running in the number 3 spot with Cash Schick in 4th. And the 0-2 of Cade Coons rounding out the field. Coons hailing from McCure, Pennsylvania. Mayle making the trip from Grafton, West Virginia to race with us here today as he leads the 113 of Denver Stark, the rider coming out of Salamanca, New York. But Stark's got some company. White flag turns to checkers as the 0-3 of Jackson Mayle makes his way across the finish line to take the heat race win in the Stasic 0-4 Division 1. The 4-2-3 of Jace Mock making that last lap pass on the number 113 of Denver Stark and collides with one of our lapped riders as he was making his way up the finish line, but I believe he did cross the timing and scoring beacon as he was making that collision, and he will be credited with the number 2 finishing position over Denver Stark, who will be credited with 3rd. The 630 of Cash Schick will make his way across the stripe in 4th, and the 95 of Carson Barnes will round out the top 5 here in heat race number 3. We've got heat race number 4, the Stasic 0-4 division number 2 down here on the line. Got the 0-3 out of Butler, Pennsylvania of Miley Toth. The number 35 out of Mercer, Pennsylvania is Denver Lucas. Got the number 59 out of Cabot, Pennsylvania of Willow Toth. The number 95 out of St. Mary's, Pennsylvania is Cason Barnes. And I got my son out there, the number 607 Flow Vision, Action Extreme Sports, Smooth Speed MX, and First Bike Motorsports bike out of Navarre, Ohio, Steele Everett. Heat race 5, the Stasic Heat race 5, the 50cc shaft drive 4-6 division number 1 should be getting lined up with the 50cc shaft drive division number 2 down in staging. The 607 of Steel Everett leads the way here in the STACYC 0-4 division number 2. Got a great start out here in heat race number 4. The number 35 of Denver Lucas, he was credited with the number 2 position last time by, but I think the number 59 of Willow Toth has adopted the number 2 position, moving that number 35 of Lucas back to the number 3 position as he is working his way around turn number 2, getting some encouraging remarks from his spectators. Still having some fun. And the number 03 of Miley Toth rounding out the field here in the STACYC 0-4 division number 2. Heat race 5, 50cc shaft drive division number 1 should be getting lined up in just a moment, or actually they should be down on the line. Heat race number 6, 50cc shaft drive division number 2 should be down and staging. Need to have heat race number 7, 50E senior 4 to 8 riders making their way down to the line, and heat race number 8, the 50E junior 4 to 8, and the STACYC 5 to 7 need to make their way down to staging as well. So again, heat race number 5, 50 shaft drive division 1 on the line. Heat race 6, 50 shaft drive division 2 in staging. Heat race 7, 50E senior 4 to 8 needs to be down in staging, and heat race 8, 50E junior 4 to 8, and STACYC 5 to 7 need to make their way down to the line. Attention in the pits. There's a Ford F-150. Looks to be either gray or blue. Pennsylvania license plate ZYR0280. It's a silver Ford F-150 ZYR0280 Pennsylvania truck. If that is your vehicle, you're blocking somebody in, they can't get out, they got to go get breakfast or something. Again, Ford F-150 silver with a Pennsylvania license plate ZYR0280. If that's you, you're not being a nice parking guy, please move your car. Heat race number 5. Heat race number 5, 50cc shaft drive 4 to 6 division number 1 is down here on the line. Grand total of 17 riders in our 50cc shaft drive class. All riders will make their way to the main event in that 50cc shaft drive division here today. They're just battling whether they start on the front row or start on the back row. That's all we're trying to figure out here in heat races 5 and 6. But down here on the line, we have the number 8 out of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania of Bo Boone. The number 19, Samsel Heating and Cooling, and 8 is Enough Construction bike out of Akron, Ohio of Hudson Wolf. The number 21 out of Auburn, Pennsylvania is Ryland Smith. Got the number 97, Hillview Motorsports, Jones and Roman MX School, Cycle Works, Alpine Stars, and 100% sponsor machine out of North Huntington, Pennsylvania, of Luca Stevens. The number 100, Calfo Heating and Cooling and Fox's Pizza bike, comes out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Finding himself on the box last night was Jack Jones. Got the 112 PR2 polished and AOT bike out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania, of Braxton Smith. Also finding himself on the box last night, looking for a solid performance here today. Got the number 118 out of Granville, Pennsylvania, of Axel Mizmer. The 196 Creekside Graphics bike out of Irwin, PA, is Deegan Eisenman. And the 511 Redmond's Revivals machine out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is Ryder Redmond. Heat race number 6, 50 Shaft Drive 4-6 Division 2 is on the line. Heat race number 7, 50 East Senior 4-8 should be down in staging. Should also have heat race number 8, 50E Junior 4-8, and Stasic 5-7 riders making their way down to the line. Second call for the girls 4-8 in heat race number 9, and first call for heat races 10 and 11. First call for heat races 10 and 11. 50cc Gas Senior 7-8 Divisions 1 and 2. We got 50cc Shaft Drive Division number 2 out on the track right now. 8 more riders navigating the circuit, including the number 2 out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania, Van Russler. The number 17 X110 Racing and Full Throttle Images machine out of Wellington, Ohio, is Colton Wolf on the 17X. The number 17, though, comes out of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, of Colton Boone. Got the number 73 Birmingham Services, O'Neill, ASV Levers, Mika Metals, ODI Grips, Dunlop Tires, and GoPros. Sponsor bike out of Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. That's Lincoln Birmingham. The 132 Berkshire Realty, Allison Mortimer, AOT Racing, OGO, Wetzel Tire and Auto, H&H Beer. Sponsored bike out of Clintonville, Pennsylvania is Boozer himself, the 132 of Olson Shaley. Got the 225 out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania of Jax Holabow. The 429 Super Duper MX Solutions FXR and Dunlop sponsored bike comes out of Apollo, Pennsylvania. That's Axel Rierick. And the 978 bike comes out of Mars, Pennsylvania, and that's Cannon Henry. Heat Race 7, 50E Senior is down on the line. 50E Junior and Stasic 5 to 7 should be down here in staging. They're going to get lined up in just a moment. Heat Race number 9, girls 4 to 8 should be making their way down to the staging area. And first call once again for Heat Races 10 and 11, 50cc Gas Senior Divisions 1 and 2. We've got heat race number 7, the 50 East Senior class, out on the track with the 515 Husqvarna. The rider coming out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania, Jacoby Holabau, running up front. He got a great start and hangs on to that number 1 position as a couple of Cobra riders trying to duke it out behind him. That's the number 66 of Max Rustler, the Lewistown, Pennsylvania native, on the Cobra machine. He's trying to hold off the charging 548 Catalyst Alpha MX right training and leading edge escalators Cobra out of Kendall, Ontario, Canada, of Jet Anderson. Also joining them on the race course is the number 5 Haggerty Home Improvements, Ride, Stasic, Mika Metals, Dunlop Tires, and New Ken Inc. Gas out of Cheswick, Pennsylvania, of Willie Haggerty. The 08 Works Auto Salvage, Podium Works, and Wright's Meat Packing sponsored Husqvarna machine out of Elwood City, Pennsylvania, is Colin Work. Got the number 13 KTM out of Tyrone, Pennsylvania, of Kingston, Natali. The 100, check that. Got the 146 Husqvarna out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania, of Cole Crawford signed up in this 50 East Senior class, as well as the 4 Double Douche, Rowdy Life Designs, Jim's Toys and Such, and Redline Construction Husqvarna out of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, of Easton Lavanish. Heat race 8, the 50E Junior in the Stasic 5-7 class should be getting lined up. Heat race 9, girls 4-8 should be down in staging. Heat races 10 and 11, 50cc gas senior 7-8 divisions 1 and 2 should be down in staging. And first call for heat race 12, 50cc beginner shaft 4-6. Thank you to the folks at Steel City Men's Clinic and Riders Gold for helping us out all 2025 and 2026 Supercross season. I want to thank the folks at Getz Contracting, Fast Track Moto Co., Nick Reddish Contracting, Cleveland Brothers Cat, First Bike Motorsports, and the Sierra Experts. And also, pay attention to those Rocky Mountain ATV MC Race Gas emails that you may be receiving. They are not spam. They are paying you back for racing here at Switchback MX. So use those rewards before they expire. Easy to sign up, even easier to use. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Checkered flag flies, the 515 Jacoby Holabau taking the heat race win over Max Rustler, with Jet Anderson hanging on for 3rd. The 4 Double Deuce of Easton Lavanish hangs on for a top 5 finish. They all together checked out from the rest of the field as the number 5 of Willie Haggerty rounded out the top 5 in heat race number 7. Gate drops for the 50E Junior 4-8 class. The 316 of Caleb Catellis, the rider coming out of McDonald, Pennsylvania, on that Colts Landscaping LLC machine, grabs your early race lead over the number 100X Gas out of Irwin, Pennsylvania, of Chance Benneman, joining the men that 50E Junior class. I got a couple of E2s in the 50E Junior class. Got the 607 Steel Everett on that Flow Vision Action Extreme Sports Smooth Speed MX and First Bike Motorsports Gas coming out of Navarre, Ohio, running in the number 3 spot in that junior class. And chasing them down is the number 45 O'Neill Racing KTM out of Warren, Ohio, of Colton Colello. One lone soul in the Stasic 5-7 class on that Birmingham Services O'Neill and ASV Levers bike out of Lower Borough, Pennsylvania's Lincoln Birmingham. Heat race 9, girls 4-8 should be getting lined up. Heat race 10 and 11, 50 gas senior 7-8 divisions 1 and 2. Go ahead and start making your way down to staging. Heat race 12, 50cc beginner shaft 4-6 riders. Go ahead and start making your way down to the line. And first call for 50 gas junior 4-6. Great battle between your Stasic 5-7 rider and the final rider in that 50E junior class, battling over track position. That is the battle between Colton Colello on the 50E junior bike and Lincoln Birmingham on the Stasic machine. Birmingham showing Colello a wheel in a couple of the turns. That's a big wheel to get shown as Birmingham on one of those 36-volt Stasic platforms. A little bit higher performance, a little faster, a little more capable, and it can close in on those E2 machines in some sections of the track. Checkered flag flies for the 316. Caleb Catellis getting the main event, getting the heat race win in that 50E junior class over the 100X of Chance Beneman. The 73 of Lincoln Birmingham will take the Stasic 5-7 heat race win, with the 607 of Steele Everett rounding out the top three in the E junior class, with Colton Colello rounding out the field. Once again, heat race number 9, the girls 4-8 should be on the line, set to hit the track in just a moment. 5 riders heading out there on the race course will be the number 1 Husqvarna out of Dresden, Ohio, of Riley Comines. The number 14 4K Racing Husqvarna out of Ford City, Pennsylvania's Cara Cairo. The number 21 KTM out of Auburn, Pennsylvania's Ryland Smith. The number 24 Baker's Tree Service KTM comes out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania, of Elena Baker. And the 717 Kibik Cycle Josh Lojack's House of Speed Off-Road Vixens FXR and 100% Gas comes out of Cadogan, Pennsylvania, and that's Gemma Stover. The number 1 of Riley Comines trying to chase down the number 21 of Ryland Smith up at the front of the pack with the 717 of Gemma Stover running back in the number 3 position. Battle between the 14 of Cara Cairo and the 24 of Elena Baker, both in the whoops at this point in time of the race, battling for the number 4 position, but also Comines and Stover duking it out for the number 2 spot. Battles everywhere on the race course in our girls 4 to 8 class. Battle continuing for the number 2 spot in our girls 4 to 8 class between the number 1 of Riley Comines and the 717 of Gemma Stover. Stover applying the pressure, and Comines finally cracking under that pressure, and Stover will move up into the number 2 spot, but this is just for gate picks for that main event coming up later in the day. It is still Cara Cairo over Elena Baker, 4th and 5th. Checkered flag flies, and Rylan Smith takes that heat race win in the girls 4 to 8 class over the 717 of Gemma Stover. The number 1 of Riley Comines will round out the top 3. We have just dropped the gate here on heat race number 10, 50 gas senior 7 to 8 division number 1. The 548 of Jet Anderson, the Callis Alpha MX right training and leading edge escalators Cobra out of Kendall, Ontario, Canada, grabs your hose shot, checks out early, leaving the battles behind him. He's got the 08 Works Auto Salvage, Podium Works LLC, Wrights Meatpacking, Derby Dog, and Be My Galveston Guest. Cobra out of Elwood City, Pennsylvania, that's Colin Work. Also the number 13 Cobra out of Tyrone, Pennsylvania, of Kingston Natali. Out of Wellington, Ohio is the 110 Racing Kuzman Motorsports Custom Paint, Full Throttle Images, and Dunlop Tires Cobra. That's the 117 of Cameron Wolf Jr. Also have the 117 Cobra out of Grantville, Pennsylvania, of Axel Mizimer, and the 917 Husqvarna out of Julian, Pennsylvania, of Austin Phelps. Heat race 11, 50cc gas senior 7 to 8 division number 2 is getting lined up. need to have Heat Race 12, 50cc beginner shaft, 4 to 6, down in staging. Heat Race 13, 50cc gas junior, 4 to 6, needs to make their way down to the staging area. And first call once again for Heat Races 14 and 15. First call for Heat Races 14 and 15, EE2, 4 to 7, Divisions 1 and 2. White flag turns to checkers for the 548 of Jet Anderson, taking the heat race win in the 50 gas senior division 1, holding off the 117 of Cameron Wolf, the 08 of Colin Work, the 13 of Kingston Talley, and the 917 of Austin Phelps is going to get overtaken here on the final lap as he is having some bike problems at the far end of the arena, having some difficulties getting that thing fired back up, and it'll be the 118 of Axel Mizimer finding himself in that number 5 spot. And when you have these two divisions, you got to finish inside the top 5 to start on the front row in the main event. And the 118 of Mizimer able to keep that rubber side down and round out the top 5, and he will start on the front row come main event time later today. Heat race number 11, the 50 gas senior division number 2 is on the line. Going to figure out the other 5 riders to start on the front row in that 50 senior main event. Heat race 12, 50cc beginner shaft, 4 to 6 should be down in staging. Need to have the 50cc gas junior 4 to 6 class making their way down to the line. Second call for heat races 14 and 15, the EE2 4 to 7 divisions 1 and 2. And first call for heat races 16 and 17, 50cc gas open 4 to 8 divisions 1 and 2. Heat Race 11 is out on the track right now. That's our 50 Gas Senior Division 2. And leading the way is the 515 Gas out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania of Jacoby Holabau. He's being chased down by the number 66 Cobra out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania of Max Rustler, sitting back there in second. Also here in our 50 Gas Senior D2 is the number 5 Haggerty Home Improvements, Ride Stasic, Mika Metals, Dunlop Tires, and New Ken Inc. Cobra out of Cheswick, Pennsylvania of Willie Haggerty. The battle is for the number 4 spot between the number 55 of Dustin Dunmeyer on that Podium Works Mika Metals and Right Now Racing Cobra coming out of Franklin, Pennsylvania, and the number 345 KTM out of Cavan, Ontario, Canada of Tristan Welch. One rider that has not came across the timing and scoring beacon, and I do not see out there, is the 828 Jones and Roman MX School Hex Motor and Birmingham Services Cobra out of Allison Park, Pennsylvania. Rider Birmingham, I do not see out there. So all the riders here in Division number 2 will start on that front row in the main event. Holabau on the 515 Gas takes the heat race win in our 50 Gas Senior Division 2. Here comes the number 66 of Max Rustler. He will cross the stripe in the number 2 spot. The number 5 of Willie Haggerty on that Haggerty Home Improvements Cobra. That's the souped up junior machine. He will make his way across the stripe in 3rd. And the number 55 of Dustin Dunmeyer will hold off the 345 of Tristan Welch for 4th and 5th in Heat Race 11. We've got heat race number 12, the 50cc beginner shaft 4 to 6 class out on the track. And leading the way is the number 73 Birmingham Services, O'Neill ASV Levers, Mika Metals, and ODI Grips bike out of Lower Borough, Pennsylvania of Lincoln, Birmingham. Chasing him down is the number 196, I believe. We'll catch back in with that in just a moment, but joining them in the 50cc beginner shaft class is the number 19 Samsel Heating and Cooling, 8 is Enough Construction, and Wolf Renovations bike out of Akron, Ohio of Hudson Wolf. And that is the number 19 of Wolf chasing down the number 73 of Birmingham. The number 53 comes out of Mercer, Pennsylvania, and that's River Lucas. The number 75 is out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania of Chase Griffiths. The 100X is out of Irwin, PA of Chance Benneman. Got the number 100 Western Maryland Collision bike out of Bedford, Pennsylvania of Finn Wilson. Or Western MD Collision out of Bedford, Pennsylvania of Finn Wilson. Got the 113 out of Salamanca, New York of Denver Stark. The 423 out of Patton, PA of Jace Mock. Got the 630 out of Reimersburg, Pennsylvania of Cash Schick. And the 978 coming out of Mars, Pennsylvania of Cannon Henry. Heat race 13, 50 gas junior 4 to 6 is on the line. Heat races 14 and 15, EE2 4 to 7, divisions 1 and 2 need to be down in staging as well. And heat races 15 and 16, 50cc gas open, divisions 1 and 2 need to make their way down to the line. White flag is out for the battle up front between the number 73 of Lincoln Birmingham and the number 19 of Hudson Wolf. Those two riders have checked out altogether from the rest of the pack. I believe it's the 113 of Denver Stark sitting in the number 3 spot. Check that, that's Cash Schick running in the number 3 spot on the 630 Yamaha. He's got the 113 of Denver Stark chasing him down in 4th, and the 978 of Cannon Henry rounds out the top 5 as they currently are on the track with Jace Mock just outside of the top 5. White flag turns to checkers out here in heat race number 12 with the number 73 of Lincoln Birmingham hanging on to it. Went down. Run over here and check the results of that 50cc beginner shaft class. Yeah, it will be the number 73 of Lincoln Birmingham taking that heat race win over Hudson Wolf with Cash Schick on the 630. Rounding out your top 3, the 113 of Denver Stark will finish there in the number 4 spot, and the 978 of Cannon Henry will round out the top 5 in the 50cc beginner shaft 4 to 6 class. We've got heat race 13, the 50 gas junior class out on the track. Bunch of Cobra machines, the machines built in Michigan, are very competitive in this 50 gas junior class with only a couple of KTMs. And one of those Cobra bikes is piloted by your race leader, the number 26 Sunday Equipment and Fleet Services. Jones and Roman MX School, Osterwise Enterprises, and Franken Pride. Cobra, that is Grayson Sunday leading the way. He's got a comfortable advantage over the number 23 KTM out of Milroy, Pennsylvania of Emmett Yon back in second. Yon on one of the few KTM bikes in this race, the 511 Redmond's Revivals Cobras out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania of Ryder Redmond. Also have the number 17 Cobra out of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania of Colt Boone. The number 19 Podium Works, Mika Metals, and Right Now Racing Cobras out of Franklin, PA of Hudson Dunmeyer. Also have the number 59 Embroidery Pittsburgh KTM out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania of Raymond Schlegel. The 97 Hillview Motorsports, Jones and Roman MX School Cycle Works, and Alpine Stars Cobras out of North Huntington, Pennsylvania of Lucas Stevens. The 118 Cobras out of Grantville, PA of Axel Mizimer. The 429 Super Duper MX Solutions, FXR and Dunlop Cobras out of Apollo, PA of Axel Rierick. And the 787 KTMs out of Youngstown, Ohio of Edward Kubik. Heat race 14, EE2 4-7 division number 1 is on the line with the EE2 4-7 division 2 down in staging. And heat races 16 and 17, the 50cc gas open 4-8 divisions 1 and 2 need to be down in staging as well. Checkered flag flies. So the number 26 of Grayson Sunday taking the heat race win in the 50cc gas junior class in commanding fashion over the 23Y of Emmett Yon. There's the 511 of Ryder Redmond in third, holding on to the bottom step of the podium here in the heat race over the charging Axel Mizimer on that 118 Cobra, and Axel Rierick on the 429 will closely follow them across the stripe, rounding out the top 5. It's a good ways back to the number 6 place rider. That's the number 97 of Lucas Stevens. He was all by himself as he crossed the stripe. He's got some work to do to get inside the top 5 in the main event. Heat race 14, EE2 division number 1 is set to hit the track in just a moment. 7 riders in our EE2 division 1. Got the number 1 out of New Wilmington, Pennsylvania of Taylor Romaine. Got the number 2 Husqvarna out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania, Van Russler. The 03 Husqvarna out of Grafton, West Virginia of Jackson Mayle. Got the 113 Husqvarna out of Salamanca, New York of Denver Stark. Got the 148 Husqvarna out of Katanning, Pennsylvania of Landon Crawford. The 196 Creekside Graphics Gas comes out of Irwin, Pennsylvania of Deegan Eisenman. And the Flow Vision Action Extreme Sports Reed's Auto Detailing, Smooth Speed MX, and First Bike Motorsports Gas comes out of Navarre, Ohio. That's the 607 of Steele Everett. Heat race 15, the EE2 4-7 Division 2 should be getting lined up in just a moment. And heat races 16 and 17, the 50 Gas Open 4-8 Division number 1 and 2 should be down in staging as well. It is the 196 of Deegan Eisenman leading the number 3 of Jackson Mail out here in the EE2 Division 1. The number 2 of Van Rustler sits back there in the number 3 spot ahead of the 113 of Denver Stark. And the 607 of Steele rounds out the top 5. Deegan Eisenman making the move on the number 3 of Jackson Mail to take over the number 1 spot. And he is altogether checked out from this point. He's got about a straightaway advantage over the rest of the field. The number 3 of Jackson Mail still runs in the number 2 spot now after falling back to that position a lap ago. The number 2 of Van Rustler sits in third over the 113 of Denver Stark. And the 607 of Steele Everett still rounds out the top 5 here in Heat Race 14. Van Rustler having some issues out there on his final lap, falling back to the number 4 spot. White flag turns to checkers, though, for the number 196 of Deegan Eisenman taking the heat race win. Here comes the number 3 of Jackson Mail making his way across the finish line in the number 2 spot. It'll be Denver Stark on the 113 rounding out the top 3. Issues for the number 2 of Van Rustler slipping up, and he will fall back to 4th. In the 607 of Steele Everett will round out the top 5 here in Heat Race 14. 6 more riders set to hit the race course in our EE2 Division number 2, including the number 3 KTM out of Greenville, Pennsylvania of Caden Zachrich. The number 5 KTM also out of Greenville, Pennsylvania of Caleb Zachrich. Got the number 45 O'Neill Racing KTM out of Warren, Ohio of Colton Colello. The 75 KTM comes out of Parker, Pennsylvania of Easton Heater. The 225 KTM comes out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania of Jax Holabow. And the 978 Husqvarna comes out of Mars, Pennsylvania of Cannon Henry. Those gentlemen that were just up here in the viewing booth, one of you guys forgot your wallet. Grab your buddy's drink while you're up here. Thanks for coming out here to Switchback MX for round number 11 of competition. Racing action continues with heat race number 15, the EE2 4-7 division number 2. As the number 225 of Jax Holabau continues to hang on to the number 1 spot, but he has the 75 of Easton Heater chasing him down. Those two riders have checked out altogether from the 978 of Cannon Henry, sitting back there in the number 3 spot. White flag flies for the number 225, Jax Holabau, continuing to run up front in our EE2 division number 2. It is still the number 75, though, of Easton Heater trying to chase down that 225 of Holabau. We have heat race 16, the 50cc Gas Open Division number 1 on the line with 50cc Gas Open Division 2 down in staging. The top two there in our EE2 4-7 Division 2 have checked out altogether from the rest of the pack, with the 978 of Cannon Henry crossing in third. One rider having some issues just after the finish line, that being the number 5 of Caleb Zachrich, but he's all right. He's remounting his steed, and he will make his way off the race course safely. The number 45 of Colton Colello will finish in 4th, and Caden Zachrich will round out our top 5 in heat race 15. Big crash at the entrance of the rhythm lane, collecting half the field in our 50 Gas Open Division number 1. It wasn't a bad crash, it was just a big crash, collecting half the field as the number 13 of Kingston Natalie aboard that Cobra machine out of Tyrone, Pennsylvania, things all came unraveled for him. The 4DoubleDo Chirality Life Designs Husqvarna out of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania of Easton Lavanish, and the number 39 Gas out of Bollier, Pennsylvania of Carson Cameron. Things did not go their way just after turn number 3 in the start of the 50 Gas Open Division 1, collecting one another, and they have to recharge from the back of the pack, leaving the race lead up to the number 26 Sunday Equipment and Fleet Services Jones and Roman MX School and Osterwise Enterprises Gas, the rider coming out of Washington, Pennsylvania, as Grayson Sunday now leading the way with the 117 110 Racing Kuzman Motorsports Custom Paint, Full Throttle Images Dunlop Tires, and Podium Works LLC Cobra out of Wellington, Ohio. Cameron Wolf Jr. clearing all of the chaos on that opening lap, as did the number 55 Podium Works Mika Metals, and right now Racing Cobra out of Franklin, Pennsylvania of Dustin Dunmeyer. Heat race 17, 50cc Gas Open 4 to 8 should be down in staging. I believe we will roll right into main event racing action with main event number 1, the 50E Open 4 to 8 class. They need to start making their way down to the staging area. Main event number 2, Stasic 0 to 4, needs to start making their way down to the line. And first call early for main event number 3. Main event 3, 50cc Shaft Drive 4 to 6. One rider going down hard through the whoop section. I believe that was your race leader, giving the number 1 spot over to the 117 of Cameron Wolf Jr. Yeah, the number 26 of Grayson Sunday going down really hard through the whoop section, giving the number 1 spot over to the 117 of Cameron Wolf Jr. That'll mean the 422 of Easton Lavanish will move up to finish in the number 2 spot after getting collected in that chaos early. The 55 of Dustin Dunmeyer will make the last lap charge on the 13 of Kingston Natali to move up into the number 3 spot, but big tough break for the number 26 of Grayson Sunday. We're going to get him checked out as he is slow to get back up on his feet, and he is not making his way back to his machine. He is definitely going to be feeling the pain from that accident when he heads home later today. Hope for a speedy recovery, but he is bending over in some pain. The number 26 of Grayson Sunday, not the way that you want to have things roll for you after running up front the entire time. Isn't that just darling? They are celebrating Valentine's all throughout here at Switchback MX, the concession stand, even offering the chicken nuggets and fries in little heart-shaped containers for those that will be wanting a chicken basket here today. So celebrating Valentine's throughout the entire facility. Thank you guys for coming out here and racing with us here on February the 14th. Great day to race as we have the 515 of Jacoby Holabau hanging on to the number 1 spot on that gas machine here in Heat Race 17. Great temperatures outside, finally getting above freezing, but Holabau slow. He has something going on with that gas machine. Didn't see if it was a mechanical problem. I know he's had some bike problems earlier in this series, but he was slow in the turn following the finish line, so I'm not sure if he had a bobble and was just recovering from that, but he finally gets back to race pace. The rider out of Katanning, Pennsylvania leads the Callus Alpha MX Right Training and Leading Edge Escalators Cobra out of Kendall, Ontario, Canada of Jet Anderson. Also out there on the track is the number 08 Chases Auto Salvage, Works Auto Salvage, Podium Works, Wrights Meat Packing, and Derby Dog Cobra. That's Colin Work. Also have the number 9 Night Train Trucking Husqvarna out of Parker, Pennsylvania of Cooper Moyer. The number 23 KTMs out of Milroy, PA of Emmett Yon. The 345 KTMs out of Cavan, Ontario, Canada of Tristan Welch. And the 917 Husqvarna is out of Julian, Pennsylvania of Austin Phelps. I believe we will be roaring right into main event racing action with main event number 1 being the 50E Open class. Main event number 2, stay 0 to 4. Main event number 3, 50cc shaft drive 4 to 6. And main event number 4 will be the 50E Senior 4 to 8. Taking the heat race win in that 50 gas open 4 to 8 Division 2 was the 515 of Jacoby Holabau. He got it done over the 548 of Jet Anderson, and the 08 of Colin Work hung on for a top 3 finish. Also starting on the front row in the main event will be the number 23 of Emmett Yon, as he finished in 4th, and the 917 of Austin Phelps on the Husqvarna machine. He will round out the top 5.